The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hey, good morning, everyone. This is Matt Tour with Insurance Agency Marketing Services. Thanks for joining us this morning. We're very glad to have Craig Geiger joining us here shortly from Lincoln Financial Group. He does a fantastic job on updating us in the field based on the endeavors of Lincoln Financial. He's a regional sales manager. Craig does a fantastic job for us, so we're glad to have him joining us this morning. We're going to be discussing Lincoln Financial Group's new Fidelity strategy, really a strong play in the field right now, with a lot of the agents moving more towards accumulation. The Fidelity strategy is really off the charts on how it's been performing and what they provide to the client based on those gains and strategies they have available through Fidelity. So definitely a nice combination there. And we'll go ahead and get started here today. Go ahead and find my started here. I know that IMS continues to offer some of the really nice benefits in the marketplace right now with our Fast Start program. You can earn some different incentives based on production. Really a nice program to go with based on that. And we've got some great things happening right now in that side of the business. We've got our referral producer program. You can go ahead and earn additional monies based on referrals. It's a great chance to earn some additional money based on that. And really, it's a great way to build up a referral bank where money's coming in on a monthly basis. Based on your referrals, we do give you a 20 BIP override based on your referrals production. So if you have an individual that has $1 million of production with us, that'd be $2,000 in your referral account. So really a nice combination there. We send those out once a quarter. So we're glad to fill your pockets on a quarterly basis based on your referrals. We also have our marketing reimbursement program. You get $100 every $100,000 of premium you submit. So really a nice combination on that side. As I mentioned, we have our new producer builders. We have different levels, $100,000, $300,000, and $500,000 levels. A great way for you to earn some additional money based on premium getting out of the gate. So it's a really nice program we have going there. We've got a great back office support team. We've got individuals on the new business side that really help with the whole process of getting your business sent through. They do a great job on assisting from when the application is received all the way through the process of getting it submitted, statusing of that business, and then make sure you're getting it paid as quickly as possible and getting that business funded as quickly as possible for any transfers that happen, or making sure there's no issues on getting that business through as quickly as possible. We've also got a great team that helps out on the advertising side. Our creative department does a fantastic job. We've got 3 individuals in that department that really help with different avenues you want to follow. Maybe you want to redo your website. Maybe you want to do some mailings, social media advertising. Really some good stuff you can use on that end of it. We have our contracting department. They can help you out by utilizing our paperless contracting system. You can get licensed up with any number of companies based on getting one set of paperwork filled out, completed, and sent in. So it's a really nice tool we have available on that end. As I mentioned, our creative department, they do a great job. If you're redoing your company logo, maybe you're redoing some business cards, developing newsletters, doing social media advertising, whatever it may be, they can really help you out and get to the next level based on those situations. So that's definitely a nice feather in the cap you could take advantage based on our department there. We have our own website. I know the IMS Inc. website. It's been up and running here for a number of years. We've done some revamping on that. We've added in some different sales ideas, some different support we offer based on what we do through IMES. We've got a great term quoting device. Maybe you're looking for annuity income comparisons. We have those on the system. We have a lot of different materials in the system for supplies. If you're trying to find some forms to write a piece of business with Lincoln Financial, we have to have those available on our site. We also have our annuity product grid, which includes the current interest rates, the durations of the contracts, different strategies are included. A really good piece to have on hand in order to utilize that to make presentations to clients. So really a nice form we have available there on our website. You can get all the current rates. I know rates are changing on a weekly basis now based on the interest rate environment. So we definitely keep that as up to date as we can on the website. We also have our long-term care products available there, so you can get those downloaded based on those needs. We do have a really nice software program for client presentations. It's a retirement analyzer software program. It's really nice program to use for clients who are maybe looking at where they stand today for retirement, how much they're going to need to save over the next number of years to provide a certain level of income they're looking for. Maybe they're looking at what's going to happen if my spouse passes away, what's going to go happen from that point forward. And you can really plug in a lot of different situations. Maybe you want to buy a special car when you retire. You can plug in that expense. Really a great block of information you can utilize based on this retirement analyzer program. I know Marcus is in the office, is a expert on this software. If you would like to speak to Marcus and have him work on a specific case, we'd be glad to get that done for you and really get things moving on that end. I know we've recently, in the last couple of years, have launched our wealth management team. We have a department here in the office that works specifically on the security side. And I know we've seen a lot of agents get involved in that the last few years. The stock market's been doing extremely well this year, and it's definitely a feather in your cap if you're able to offer your clients more programs, different ways to invest their dollars, be it in the insurance side of it or the security side of it. This really is a situation where it's good to have everything under one roof as opposed to sending an individual down the street to meet with someone else on the security side of it. Sometimes what happens is losing that client because the other person can also offer insurance in the securities, and you hate to refer someone to someone else and end up losing that client in the long run. I think it's better to have more feathers in your cap and be able to utilize some different items that you may not be able to do with just the insurance license. So we do help with people that are looking at taking the Series 65. A lot of different platforms for investing we have available through our group, and we're consistently bringing on new platforms. So some really good options available on that side, and it really helps with your strengthening of your client relationship, where you can really help them with all sides of their investing. So I'm gonna leave this little poll, and it's in progress right now for about another 30 seconds. It's something you want to talk to one of our experts on that side of it. I know that Michael or Charles would be glad to give you a call and really get things moving in on that wealth management side. If you don't have your Series 65 right now, they can go over details on what you can do to get that test signed up for, get the study materials over to you and get everything in motion on that end of it and really be able to get things rolling on that side. But if you have interest, just check off yes. I'll leave this open for about another 10 seconds. I'd be glad to get you signed up for those that wealth management side of our business. I know we do meetings. We bring people in for wealth management meetings. We just had one in last week, and we do bring in a lot of new individuals that have interest in that. So definitely keep that in mind based on future needs. We also do our life and annuity sales academies. I know we do about 3 to 4 a year. We just had one here about 3 weeks ago. I know that we do these about once a quarter. If you're interested in attending one of our meetings, I know our next one will probably be sometime in March or April. Probably do that in a little bit warmer location than Omaha, Nebraska, or Des Moines. We typically do them in those two locations. We go over a lot of good ideas on sales, information based on doing seminars, doing one-on-one presentations, doing mailings, social media advertising. We go over a lot of details on different ways you can develop more connections to new clients, and that's definitely a needed item right now. We go over a lot of information also on the latest and greatest in index strategies, large life case management. We'll go over that. Going over wealth transfer tools with single premium life, different opportunities on that side. We have some different software programs we'll be discussing based on items like the retirement analyzer, going over some details on things we have available on our website, be it an income rider comparison or an indexed annuity strategy comparison. We can plug in a lot of good information there. You can take a look at different returns based on those items. So if you have interest in attending one of our future meetings, I know it's all expense paid. We pay for your travel. We pay for your local transportation. We pay for your meals. We pay for your lodging. Everything is taken care of once you leave your location. Everything's taken care of until you get back to your location. So it's typically about a Wednesday through Friday situation. You fly out Wednesday afternoon. Meeting would start Wednesday evening and go all day Thursday. Would go Friday morning, and then you'd fly back out Friday afternoon. So really a nice turnkey system we have on that training. And I know we have a lot of agents have attended our training in the past. Their production definitely shows a gain when they return home. And then, they do have interest in coming down back to some of these meetings down the road. They'll be able to pick up some new information. Maybe they attended 3 years, 4 years ago. They want to come back out and get a refresher. We're glad to bring you out based on those situations. So definitely keep that in mind based on our program there. I know we have our Top Producers Escape Trip 2021. Qualification started the 1st of July of 2019. Qualification does run through December of 2020, so it's an 18-month qualification. We're getting ready to announce our location on that. We're just getting things pared down to a couple of locations. So as soon as we have those details, we'll go ahead and get those sent over to you. And we should have that announcement here sometime in the middle of November. And it should be a really nice location. And it should be definitely worth your while to get active and go ahead and qualify for that trip. So really a nice combination there. I'm going to go ahead and change presenters here. I know Craig Geiger is going to be going over some information with you based on what we have available with the new Fidelity index strategy. He does a fantastic job with this, and we welcome you aboard. This morning, Craig, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you, Matt, and just want to make sure everybody can see my screen.
Yep, I've got you right up here on my end, so you should be good to go.
Perfect. Well, again, thanks, Matt. Thanks, Imes, for really giving Lincoln an opportunity to kind of give you guys some really exciting information. We recently launched a brand new index, and I know everyone's launching different indexes and stuff like that. And of course, the question I would always ask myself is, what makes this any different or any more unique than what I've seen before? And if you really look at indexes as a whole, in terms of the index annuity world, obviously they're always built to give you a piece of the upside when the market's up. And obviously you have that downside protection on your principal and your gain. But really, when you think about the next 10 years, if I look at the next 10 years in the market, and if I was to ask my client these two questions, do you think rates are going to be low for a while? I think most people would agree that rates are probably going to be compressed and low for a while. So the usual places to go for fixed income are just not going to be there. And do you feel like eventually we're going to come out of this bull market and have a correction? I think everybody would agree that eventually that's going to happen, because it always does. We don't know when, of course, but we know that we've been on a good bull run now for 10, 11 years, but eventually we're going to correct. So the question is going to be is, if I know rates are going to probably be low for a while, and I know that eventually we're going to have a correction of some kind someday, what strategies are really built for that type of an environment. And so when we were looking at different indexes to launch, we were taking into account those two questions, and we came back and we interviewed a lot of different money managers and really decided on Fidelity. One, obviously because of the name brand. Two, because they have the largest research department in our industry in terms of back office support and technology and research. And of course, they came to us with this index that they felt kind of is built for the environment that we're going into. And the reason I say that is because if you look at a low rate environment and coming out of a bull market, blue chip stocks tend to perform best. Blue chip dividend paying stocks tend to perform the best. And if you look at the 1930s, dividends were positive, whereas equities were negative. If you look at the 1940s, dividends made up between 60 to 70% of all the returns of the market during that time. So dividends can play a vital role in the overall performance of the stock market. And if you look at the last 30 years and you took out dividends, the returns would be about 50% less than they would have been. So when you look at it, what we've really brought to the table with Fidelity is a strategy that's built on a dividend-paying stock rule, picking 125 or so dividend-paying stocks, as well as having treasuries and cash in that component of that index. So when we look at that, we want to look at, obviously, when we look at accumulation, this is where the Fidelity AIM Dividend Index comes into play. We'll talk about the income side of Lincoln, and we'll talk about why Lincoln in our top producer program. So obviously, like I just said, if you look at the market, obviously we've been on a tear for a long time. Eventually, I think everyone would agree something's going to correct or something's going to happen at some point. So when you look at the one-year Fidelity dividend participation account, really the best way to look at this is just another great strategy to go along with other strategies we have within the OptiBlend series of products. Everything you're going to know at Lincoln on the OptiBlend series of products, everything is one-year strategies. We have no 2-3 year strategies. We believe in one-year strategies. Everything you're going to see is you're going to find that everything's 1 year. When you look at the dividend index of Fidelity, again, we chose Fidelity because of the name recognition and, of course, because of the research department. And again, it's made up of 125 high dividend-paying stocks with a treasury component and a cash component, which is very important. So it's not just bonds and equities. It does have a cash account as well. And if you look at how it looked over the last 10 years, it did 6.94 average return over the last 10 years. It does have its own ticker symbol, and it does have a lot of different sales material on it, which I sent to Matt this morning, which he can send over to you if you want more information. So when we look at custom accumulation, what do I mean by custom accumulation? Well, I mean the fact that when you look at all the different strategies that are available, you can customize it. You can do a blend. You obviously have a fixed account. You have the one-year Fidelity AIM dividend participation account, which is brand new. We have a one-year uncapped strategy with a spread that includes the dividends. We have a one-year cap, and of course, we have a one-year par. So we have all the different strategies that most advisors are looking for today. I mentioned the Fidelity strategy, but let's talk about the other strategy that's very popular as well. This is the one that's been around for a couple of years with us. It's the one-year S&P 500 5% daily risk control spread. I know that's a lot right there to say, but what it is, it's an uncapped strategy with a 5% volatility target. You pay a small spread, and then the client gets 100% of the upside, including dividends. So you can see in 2017, when the S&P did 19.42%, then you can see that the volatility control index did 14.72 minus a 1% spread at that point. So the client would have netted 13.72 in that example. In 2018, when the S&P was negative 6.24, that strategy was actually up 61 basis points. So you can kind of see where it can give you the benefit of having that protection on the downside. Now, what's unique about this particular strategy is this particular strategy is in the S&P 500 and has a cash component. There is no bond component in this particular index, which is important, and the dividends are included in the performance. So,
hey Craig.
A couple questions. Yes.
So a question just came up. How has that volatility control index done this year? Has it done pretty well in 2019?
It's done pretty well. Yeah, I mean, obviously, when you look at the market, it's all going to depend on how the year is going to end, but It's performed very, very well for us. It's probably one of our most popular indexes, next to, of course, the annual cap. But I'd say in the last month or so, ever since we launched the Fidelity AIM Dividend Index, we've definitely seen a lot of advisors starting to use this index at least as part of their blend.
Sure. Well, good.
So another thing I'd mention on the custom accumulation side is I mentioned that obviously you have that full range of indexes to choose from. But let me ask you this question. Do you have clients that probably change their mind over time? I think we all have clients that do that. Do you have clients where their income needs change? Maybe where they did 5 years earlier with something different than what it is today? Or do you have clients that don't want to pay fees? An option that Lincoln offers that really no other insurance company offers is it gives you the ability to not have to make that income decision now when it comes to an income rider. You can utilize one of our index annuities like OptiBlend 10 and grow it for accumulation where you're still getting competitive caps, low spread, high participation rate, a higher par, and have the ability to grow it. But if you want down the road, if you want to add the income rider at a later point, you can add it post issue, which is very, very important. So it's almost like you driving to work today, you get into a car accident, you don't have car insurance, you call your auto insurance company, they insure you on the spot and cover the entire wreck. That's kind of what a post-issue election is. It's allowing you to add that insurance when the client actually wants it versus having to get it at contract issue, which really gives you that customization feel where you don't have to, let's say you look at some contracts for the income, if they have the best income, sometimes you're sacrificing low caps, a high spread or a low par. This gives you the ability where you can put them into a very competitive accumulation product now with the ability or the option down the road to add an income rider at a later point. And obviously from a guaranteed income perspective, we have two riders. We have the Edge 2.0 rider and we have the I for Life rider. So the Edge 2.0 rider is your typical simple roll-up, 7% simple roll-up for 10 years. Every year that you wait, the payout bands go up by 10 basis points. So very easy to explain. Has a 10% nursing home enhancement. What that really means is, it means the client can get 10% of their benefit base each year until the contract value goes to zero. And so it really gives you the ability to get a roll-up rider that's obviously going to roll up every single year. The payout factors are going to go up. You have the ability, if the client gets sick, to get 10% of the benefit base, and it's only 95 basis points in terms of the total cost of the rider. Now, in terms of a very unique income solution that Lincoln has that no one else has is the I for Life, Income for Life, the Index Advantage rider. This is now available on the fixed index annuity chassis of Lincoln, especially the OptiBlend 10 and the 7 currently. When you look at the OptiBlend 10, though, think about clients that fall in this category. Think about a client that you either have that's been in accumulation for years in an old non-qualified annuity, or maybe you're bringing on a new client that's got an old non-qualified annuity that's got a lot of gain. There's a lot of non-qualified annuities out there that have a ton of gain in them, and when you start taking withdrawals, everything's going to come out last in, first out, or LIFO. Or if you're taking systematic withdrawals, it's going to come out that way. If you add an income rider and you 1035 to a new contract with a new income rider, it's still going to come out last and first out. What I for Life brings to the table is it gives you the ability to produce more tax efficient income. And it's kind of like this. If you think about non-qualified money, you think about an immediate annuity, obviously the benefit is producing income for the client, or income for life, or income for a certain period of time. But the other part of it is the fact that the client gets that exclusion ratio, which means every income check is going to be part principal and part gain in each payment, which means your income is going to be partially taxable versus fully taxable like would be last and first out or LIFO. But the drawback sometimes with the immediate annuity is you lose control of the asset. I for Life gives you that control back and gives you the ability to also do joint coverage as well within an income rider. And let me explain what I mean. You can use the OptiBlend 10 index annuity as the product chassis, and you can add this optional rider called I for Life Index Advantage, and now be able to pull that income out, lifetime income, but have it come out tax efficiently while still controlling the asset. And this rider also only costs 95 basis points. Just to kind of give you just a basic math, I just looked at, if all things being equal, if the income rider to the right in the blue is paying $13,978 of income, every bit of that income is going to be taxable because it's going to come out LIFO, which means all $13,978 is taxable. In that example, with a 28% tax bracket, the client's paying over $3,900 in taxes. Their net check, keyword net check, is going to be a little over 10 grand. If I did the same thing with i4Life in this example, only $4,410 of that is going to be taxable. The other $9,568 is return of cost basis, which is not taxable. 28% tax bracket, the client's paying a little over $1,200 in taxes. They're getting a net check of $12,743. So they're almost getting $2,700 of more net spendable income in retirement just by getting it more tax efficiently.
Yeah, I just launched a quick poll here, Craig, to see who wants additional information sent to them on Lincoln Financial. So I'll leave this poll open for about another 30 seconds, and we'll go back to the presentation that you'll see on your screen.
Sure.
Another question came up, Craig. Does Lincoln Financial allow stretch non-qualified accounts?
We do.
Okay, so you do a stretch non-qualified. Does that able to go into the Opti Blend series?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. Just making sure. Well, good. I'll go ahead and close this poll up here, Craig, and we can just move forward. Back with you.
Okay. A couple of things with i4Life that are very, very unique. It's the fact that if you have clients that are retiring early and want to start producing some income because their situation changed, with i4Life, you can do pre-59F income with no 10% penalty. You can also do non-spousal joint income, which is very important. Most income writers out there today, if you want to do joint income, you have to be married. But i4Life falls under a different definition of the tax code because it's considered a form of annuitization. You can actually do non-spousal joint income. That can be anybody. That could be same-sex marriage. That could be two sisters living together. It could be two business owners, boyfriend, girlfriend. It doesn't matter. So, and there's a lot of other things that it can do as well, but I think we'll do that on another webinar. As an example, like an alternative to the non-qualified stretch, we have what's called a post-death 1035 exchange opportunity within i4Life that allows us to bring over an old non-qualified annuity that the beneficiary is inheriting and having a far more tax-efficient way to take the income out. But we can talk more about that at a later point. A couple other things I want to note is obviously Lincoln. Obviously, we're A-rated, 91 Comdex score, 114 plus years of experience. We're very competitive on accumulation. We're very competitive on income. We have very, very competitive index strategies right now. And we also have what's called our Premier Partners program. That will allow the client to get, that will allow the producer, if they do $3.8 million in annuity production, index annuity production with us, they get to go on our trip with their spouse. You guys also get access to our deferred comp program where you can defer up to 80% of your compensation. At $7.8 million qualifies you now for Lincoln stock grants as well as marketing dollars as well. And our trips are really high end. We definitely pick very unique places to go, very nice places, and they are family friendly if you want to bring your kids and stuff like that. And like I said, we do have a deferred comp program where a lot of carriers are going away from that. We still have that. We've had our deferred comp program around for a long, long time. And like I said, when you get to that $7.8 million qualifier, you also get access to get Lincoln stock grants that, of course, are available to you as well as marketing dollars. So with that, I'll throw it back to Matt. But one thing I did want to point out, and I've got this question a lot, is you guys have really good competitive pricing, but how do your renewals look like over the last couple of years? If you look at our one-year S&P 500 cap, which has been around the longest on the OptiBlend series, we renewed at 93.58% of the original cap in the second year. So it's very, very competitive. We definitely have very, very strong renewals. Besides just having strong first-year caps, our renewal rates have been really strong as well. And then, of course, with that, I'll throw it back to Matt.
Hey, appreciate that. And a couple things have come up. The Fidelity strategy, is that available in Washington at this point?
Yes, the only one that's not available, and of course outside of New York, of course, is going to be California, which is going to become available the middle of November, and then it'll pretty much be available just about everywhere.
Okay.
The only two states that I'm aware of that weren't approved when we launched were PA, which just approved this month, and California, which is going to get approved, I believe, on the 18th of next month.
Okay. That's good. And then,
Actually, real quickly,
yeah.
Matt, let me pull this up real quick so everybody can see just the rate sheet, because I want everyone to see kind of how competitive we are. And like I said, if you look at the 1-year Fidelity AIM dividend participation, you'll see on the OptiBlend 10 on $100,000 more premium, it's 100% par on that strategy, and it's still 80% par if it's under 100,000. And if you look at the annual cap, it's at 4.5% on 100,000 or more, and you still get a 36% par on the participation account as well. So very competitive pricing all across the board.
Okay. Hey, can you go back to that slide you had on the I for Life that showed the returns? Because I did this, the survey popped up about the same time that slide was up, so people want to take a look at that one again.
Would it be this one?
Yep, that's the one. So basically,
yeah, and really what this is doing, guys, is this is just showing you the power of having that exclusion ratio in the income versus the income coming out last and first out, which would be to the right. So the I for Life, obviously, part is showing that exclusion ratio where you're getting that $9,568 of return of cost basis, which is non-taxable, and you're only getting taxable on the difference, and that's why you net out more income in that example.
Mm-hmm. Because basically the way that most income riders pay, they pay out interest first, and then you get into principal down the road once the interest has all been paid out. Whereas the I for Life on the non-qualified accounts pays out a mix. It's more like a SPIA. You're paying out part principal, part interest earned.
But the beautiful thing is, because you're still invested in an index annuity, your account value is still growing with the income that you're not taking out. And the rider itself is actually based on your account value, which means the rider fee can go down over time versus going up because you're taking income right away. So it does allow you to get a very tax efficient income stream, and at the same time have a reasonable cost for it as well.
Mm-hmm. That's big, based on that principle. But anything else you want to finish up on this morning, Craig, based on the Fidelity strategy, or any other items with Lincoln Financial this morning?
I'd say the only thing I'd point out is that we are very, very committed to not only continuing to bring out new products and new income riders and new income solutions and marketing, that you're going to see more and more and more stuff coming from Lincoln. We are very committed to becoming one of the top 3 carriers in the fixed index annuity marketplace. So you will continue to see advances in our product design, our competitiveness, our marketing, and so on. So I just want to make sure everyone's aware that we are really committed to this channel and very committed to becoming a bigger and bigger part of the index annuity marketplace going forward. So,
well, good.
Thanks, Matt.
And then what's the fee for the I for Life strategy? Is that 1%?
It's 95 basis points, just like the Edge rider.
Yeah,
so they're both the same cost.
Yeah, very, very reasonable cost. I mean, anytime you see costs under 1%, very reasonable in today's market. So those are right, up the alley for very average costs based on what's out there in the market these days. So we're glad to have Craig on this morning. I know we went over some great information on Fidelity's new strategy they have there with Lincoln Financial. I know that being able to mix and match some of the strategies together. And I know, Craig, we had talked about before we went on live that a lot of people are using a certain mix on the strategy.
Yeah,
I'm going to go over that real quick with them before we.
Thanks for bringing that up, Matt. One thing that I included in the email I sent to Matt was a sample illustration with the OptiBlend 10. One thing I'm starting to see a lot more advisors utilize is doing 60% in the Fidelity, 20% on the uncapped strategy or the volatility control index, the one I mentioned that's uncapped, that includes the dividends, and 20% in the participation account. So kind of doing a 60-20-20 blend, I found is really looks really good when you kind of mix it up that way. Is just another example of a allocation mix that looks nice. And but the great thing is, again, that I know Matt had kind of alluded to this earlier, is we have a wide variety of index strategies. And again, everything we have at Lincoln is 1 year strategies. So 1 year cap, 1 year par, 1 year uncapped volatility control, and then of course the 1 year Fidelity. So everything's all lined up to be 1 year strategies across the board. And we really believe in, again, sticking to a 1 year strategy index options for your clients.
Well, good. I know I was on a webinar the other day with an economist, and the forecast going into 2020 is they're obviously expecting interest rates to stay very low. They don't expect any rate increases in the next 12 months based on what they see in the market right now. And they also expect the domestic stock market to do much better than, say, the international stock market. We've seen that trend over the last, say, 5 to 7 years, where the S&P index has really outperformed some of these international stocks indexes on the, with the Hang Seng and some of these other European models. And they expect that to continue going through 2020. So I think that Lincoln Financial is really set up very strong with their index strategies to really take advantage of these additional returns that they're expecting in the domestic market versus the international side. So it should be a good market going forward. I think into 2020 with the election and everything else going on, we expect the market to perform at a decent pace. So we'll see how that continues going into 2020. So otherwise, I appreciate your input this morning, Craig. Everyone else out there, have a great week. Enjoy your Halloween festivities in your locations. But we appreciate you spending some time with us today. Hopefully you picked up some really good information. I'll be contacting everyone that attended today on the phone here this afternoon and see if you do have any questions, anything we can help you out with. I'll go ahead and forward information that Craig had forwarded to me. I'll get everyone to forward it to everyone that attended today's meeting. And we look forward to a prosperous end of 2019 and a great 2020 ahead. So otherwise, everyone have a great week, and we'll speak to you soon. Bye now.